now here's Jaclyn.
Thank you everybody. Welcome to Wake Up with Jaclyn. I am Jaclyn St. James. Today is February 17th, 2014. Okay, so much to talk about today, so I just want to go briefly over my crazy week. Okay, I don't know if any of you know that there was a marathon this weekend, and well, you know, I work down by the beach, and I was on my way down to the beach, and there are no signs anywhere about this marathon. There is not one sign anywhere. Well, I live near Sunrise Boulevard, so I live in Lake Ridge, or Victoria Park area, and I went through the Victoria Park down through the city into Los Olas Boulevard. Well, I got to Los Olas Boulevard, and you get all the way down to the thing, and it's closed off. There's no signs telling you that it's closed. There's nothing. So I had to turn around. So I drove up to the officer. The officer said, you know, I was trying to ask him for directions, and he was rude, and he was just like, you need to go that way. You need to go that way. So I went that way like I was told. And I don't know how to explain this, but it's the road that goes up to the start of the tunnel. Well, you can't go left because it's a one-way, and you can't go right because they got 5 cones in the middle of the road. So all of us had to sit there and turn around, and of course I was the first one. So I had to turn the vehicle around, drive back down to the officer, and the officer's like, what are you doing? I turned around, I said, well, you know what? I said, maybe if you guys talk to each other, I said, you would understand. I said, the road is blocked. I said, I can't go left. I said, it's a one-way. It's illegal to go down the wrong way on a one-way strip. I said, there's nobody directing traffic. I said, now I'll be coming into oncoming traffic. I said, I can't go right. I said, because you got it blocked off. So I told him, I said, I have to get down to the beach near Los Olas Boulevard. So I said, how do I get to work? You know, how do I get down there? And he turned around, he's like, well, you're going to have to go down 17th Causeway. So I do that. I drive all the way down through downtown, and I go down to 17th Causeway. As I go down there, I go over the bridge, and I go down to the ocean, and I think, oh, hey, I'm getting somewhere. Right. I got all the way down. I don't know where you guys know, but the road splits, and then you come up across Los Olas, and you'll come up to like a Courtyard Marriott, and then there's the Bahia Mar. As I was coming down the road split, so the normal traffic would go to the right, but this time they had the traffic going to the left, so we were actually oncoming traffic, but they split the road 2 ways. So I'm going down, and it's bumper-to-bumper traffic. I'm sitting there for like 30 minutes. I'm already late for where I was supposed to be, just to get all the way to Los Olas Boulevard. Now, I just have to be on the other side of Los Olas Boulevard just to get to Los Olas Boulevard, and they're turning people around to go back down 17. I'm like, oh, no. So I roll down the window. I honk the horn. I'm like, yo, officer. I turned around. I said, listen. I said, listen, I have got to get somewhere. I said, I just need to get over there. I said, can't you just let me through? And he's like, no, there's a marathon. Screw the marathon. People got jobs. People have livelihoods. I don't care about runners. So he's like, well, you have to go back down 17. I said, okay, how do I get back on the beach once I get down 17? I can't go down Los Olas. I can't go down Oakland. I can't go down anywhere. I said, so where am I supposed to go? He says, go back to Sunrise. So I drove all the way down. After I turned around, I said, you know what? Fuck you and the police department and Fort Lauderdale. And I peeled out. Surprised I didn't get a ticket. Anywho, I got to work. I had to go all the way down to Sunrise. I got all the way down to Sunrise, and they had one lane open. I should have just went down Sunrise to begin with, I know. But I was already in the Victoria Park, Los Olas area, so anyway. Okay, so today we are going to talk about dreams. The differences between men and women's dreams. Now, I didn't know this. Men and women are alike in many ways. We all know that. And there are reports that there are some big differences in scenarios taking place in the minds when we hit the hay. Psychologists have coded thousands of dreams in recent journals, and it turns out that there are differences when people sleep. That's right. We're talking about nightmares, though, not just regular dreams, nightmares. Okay, so the study of University of Montreal found that men and women are awakened by different types of nightmares. Now, this is where it kind of gets confusing, because I guess, you know what, I guess I must have more female genes in me. But anyway, I'll tell you in a moment. Male nightmares were more likely to feature themes of disaster or calamity like floods. Women, though, were more likely to be tormented by conflicts with their spouse or relatives or a colleague. Now, I get a mixture of that. Excuse me. I get a mixture of that. I get the disaster themes and floods and things like that, earthquakes and stuff like that. But there's always my friends, spouses, or relatives or colleagues in my dreams. So I guess this is normal then. I guess, I'm men and women. Okay, so men tend to dream about fictitious characters. I've only had fictitious characters when it's, I don't know, not fictitious, but just somebody I haven't met or something. All right, women are more likely to dream about women and or people and settings that they know. The study also found that women seem to have more nightmares than men. I always have nightmares. One possible explanation is that women are more likely to remember their dreams and nightmares. I always remember mine. And if it's an important dream, I write things down. I keep a notepad now. I know this is crazy, but I keep a notepad in my nightstand and a pen. And if it's something that I need to remember because it's just kind of interesting, I write it down. Like I just got my Halloween costume for this year in a dream, but I won't tell you what it is. Not yet, anyway. Okay, so let's see. Yes. Well, the reason that they had that more women have like more nightmares than men is because men don't tell the truth, and they got to be all butch and everything, and I don't have nightmares, honey. We all have nightmares. Anyway, they say that the difference between the nightmare scenarios is that they're a firm believer that dreams are just an extension of our waking state. Well, I hope not. Okay, and talking about sleep, this was in the news the other day. NBC Los Angeles ran an investigative story Monday evening where they reported on passengers who have been molested and become victims of sex crimes in flight. That never happens to me. Damn. Just kidding. Once the lights go out on red eyes, and if another passenger sees you taking a sleeping pill or something to make you drowsy, your guard should be up. Their story begins of that of Dana LaRue. She was a passenger aboard a Spirit Airlines trip. It's a red-eye departure from Los Angeles to Chicago. She said she woke up and found the hand of a man in the seat next to her, groping her chest and groin area. And why can't I be so lucky? Anyway, the feds told that NBC4 in LA that most sexual assaults on airplanes happen on longer nighttime flights when the cabin is dark and many passengers are dozing off. But also mentions that they don't keep statistics on how common this crime is and that they say that most go unreported. Their tip for you out there if you guys do red-eye flights, is that you need to report the crime when it happens, immediately, to the flight attendant. Once the plane lands and you deplane, as in Dana's situation, the passenger in question could already be on board another flight headed to a location in which authorities cannot reach them. So it makes sense. So, I just can't, I can't imagine waking up to something. Because everybody I've sat next to has always been some big nasty guy or some lady, or I don't want them touching me either. But now you put the supermodel, I don't mind. Okay. I don't know if you all heard this story. This is so sad it made me cry. Okay, there's a giraffe named Marius. He's been in the news. He was recently euthanized at a Copenhagen zoo. However, it has brought up a lot of attention about animal rights and contraception. The Copenhagen Zoo euthanized a healthy giraffe named Marius on February 9th to avoid inbreeding. Okay, that's okay. And it's not okay, but I understand where they were going with this. Okay, the 18-month-old. That's how old he was. He only had 18 months of life. Okay, he was shot in the head by a bolt gun, and then in public view was dissected. Parts of the giraffe were fed to the zoo's lions, and the rest were used for scientific research. Zoo officials say euthanizing the animal was the best solution as Marius genes weren't needed for breeding, and no other accredited zoo in Europe could take him in. Reports have surfaced that another Danish zoo is considering euthanizing one of their giraffes, also named Marius, if they acquire a female giraffe for breeding purposes. But is this necessary? I mean, and could this happen in American zoos? Well, according to the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, the zoo accredited organization in the United States said in a statement that Marius's death was an unfortunate incident and one that would never happen at an AZA accredited facility. I mean, can you imagine taking your kid to the zoo and all of a sudden they shoot a giraffe in the head and start cutting them up and feeding them to the lions. I mean, oh, it's just awful. And if you log on to my website, you can see there's a picture of him holding a leg. It's so sad. I was outraged. I was so upset. I couldn't. However, there has been some update on the other Marius that they were going. They have decided against that, and they're going to do something else with him to keep him alive, and all that. In America, we simply separate the males from the females. I mean, that's the simplest thing to do. The decision was made on a species by species and case by case basis on a method that was best. Oh, God. European zoos like animals to perform behaviors naturally, including sexual behavior. Contraception is seen in Europe as an experimental option that can cause serious side effects in animals. We've seen evidence that contraception can be non-reversible and can result in permanent sterility. On top of that, we've also been seeing pathology such as cancer in certain animals who use the conception. In 1990s, the large cats like lions and tigers were developing cancers and tumors caused by conception. In the last 20 years, Copenhagen Zoo has bred 33 male and 36 female giraffes. Of those, only Marius was euthanized, they say. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, and then, I mean, the organs were made visible. I mean, kids are there. People, I mean, oh my God, I'd be livid. I would have to go and get that gun and shoot somebody. I would. That is just absurd. I love giraffes. But, I couldn't believe it. I had to share that with you. I was totally appalled. I was. Anyway, okay, so, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with some Hollywood news. See you back in a moment. Welcome back. Okay, now I know last time I told you I was not going to talk about this person anymore, but this is so juicy, I just have to talk about it. Okay. Justin Bieber is in the news again. I'm so sick of this person, but this one is so great that you are so going to laugh if you haven't heard it already. Okay, so, I mean, it just seems that Justin Bieber just simply can't keep himself out of trouble. Police were dispatched this morning to respond to an altercation at a Starbucks in West Hollywood involving some familiar faces. A barista at the coffee house was apparently confronted by Bieber. Really? When he refused to serve the pop star because he wasn't wearing a shirt. He came in with no shirt on and his pants hanging down and his underwear showing and tried to order a caramel apple macchiato. Oh, Lord. The barista, Joey Goldsmith, said that he just told him he would have to go put on a shirt if he wanted to order. Which, you know what? That's the rules. No, you need to follow the rules. You need to have clothes on. Anyway, that's when Bieber snapped. According to the police report, Bieber started cursing at the barista and threatening to have his bodyguard kick his ass. Okay. Well, fortunately for Mr. Goldsmith, the LA's Clipper star, Blake Griffin, hottie, has been enjoying a drink at the table when he witnessed the altercation and stepped in. Thank you, Blake Griffin. Here it comes. Okay. Witnesses at the scene reported that Griffin tried to calm Bieber, but the Biebs wasn't having any of it. No, he just was not. That's usually what a drug rage does. But anyway, there was more yelling and some pushing, and that's when Griffin smacked Bieber. Yes, he smacked Bieber, knocking him to the floor. He smacked the shit out of him, said a customer. Oh my God. He just saw Justin stumble out the door looking like he was crying. Bieber was gone before police arrived at the scene. However, I am now a Clippers fan. I don't know. I'm going to post this, but I don't know if you can see it, but see. That is Blake, and that is Justin Bieber crying as he's getting into the, I guess, limo or whatever he's in. But I'll post it right here for you. Oh my God. That is hilarious. I wish I was in that Starbucks. Now, I'm not a big Starbucks fan, but I wish to God I was drinking my macchiato that morning. Okay. Paula Deen is in the news again. Yes, she is back. Yes, she has found a key ingredient to bringing some sizzle back to her career. A cash infusion worth at least $75 million from a private investment firm. The Savannah-based celebrity cook announced Wednesday that she launched an umbrella company that will oversee her restaurants, cookbooks, product endorsements, and other remaining slices of her media empire. The new company, called Paula Deen Ventures, said a private equity from, I guess this is Najahai Companies, is investing $75 million to $100 million to help Deen make a comeback. Well, congratulations, Miss Paula Deen. Dean's fortunes took a dive last year, if you don't know, after comments she made under oath during proceedings in a lawsuit, namely that she used racial slurs in the past and became public. Now, I am all against racial slurs. I am. We're all one person, all one people. But, especially being gay and a drag queen. But something that she had said in the past a long time ago, and this is what caused her career to fall, I think was totally uncalled for and crazy. That's just my opinion. I mean, it just is. Her image took a crushing blow last summer with the transcript of legal deposition that Dean gave to attorneys in a discrimination lawsuit filed by a former employee that was made public. Dean was asked under oath if she had ever used the N-word, and yes, of course, she replied, though she added it has been a very long time. The lawsuit, of course, was settled out of court in August and terms were never disclosed. Yes, well, you know what? I mean, the N-word is a very bad word that you shouldn't be using. And you know what? I can't say that in the past I haven't used that word myself. And unfortunately, it's something that has been, thrown in our face. It's something that people are, people get mad. People get upset and people say things that they shouldn't say. And you know what? She said one of the words. But I don't think that her whole empire needed to fall because she said the N-word. I mean, I just don't. Anyway, away from that, last but not least, Leonardo DiCaprio is in the news. Yes. Oh my God. Sometimes you just need a hug. But not usually a hug like this. Take a look. Yes, Leonardo DiCaprio is probably well accustomed to swarms of adoring fans waiting for him at every turn. But nothing can compare him for this awkward moment on the red carpet at Santa Barbara Film Festival. DiCaprio is completely caught off guard as a fan named Vitaly Seduk, I believe, broke free from the crowd and latched onto DiCaprio's leg. I mean, after a few seconds of weirdness, security broke up the party and the man was whisked away. The actor appeared to be in good sport about it, laughing and smiling with the understandable, did that just happen? Yep, Leo, that just happened. It turns out that this wasn't, I guess it's Seduk, I don't know, Seduk. His first time getting physical with celebrities. Most recently, he tried to take a hold of Bradley Cooper at the SAG Awards, and back in May 2012, he tried and failed to steal a kiss from Will Smith. I guess he's gay. Okay, so, well, that wraps up another Wake Up with Jaclyn. I'm Jaclyn St. James, and I hope to see you next week right here. See you later.